Building the Naruto World. Chapter 2, The Angel's Descent. Note, don't forget to join my patreon.com/Floxy to get access to plus 100 advanced chapters so I can bring more chapters for you. As soon as the door opened, a cold gust of wind sent a shiver down Naruto's spine, making him tremble from head to toe. "Winter's here," he muttered. With a bang, he shut the door and hurried back inside to change into warmer clothes before heading out again. Standing in front of the mirror, Naruto examined his outfit. A red hat with white trim and a little white pom-pom at the back. A red sleeveless padded jacket with a white collar and a red scarf. Bundled up like a ball, he looked undeniably adorable. "Not bad. I look pretty cute," Naruto thought to himself. After all, young Naruto was quite the charmer. Santa's coat, armor plus 40, agility minus 18%. Santa's hat, armor plus 20. These were special holiday packages that fell from the sky in his small world every Halloween and Christmas, automatically collected by his inventory. Along with the festive outfits, there were also wire wrapped in colorful ribbons, wreaths, Christmas garlands, and special cookies that were surprisingly delicious. In terms of defense, these items were the strongest in the game. Even steel armor only provided 18 defense points. However, the largest size available was 1.19 meters, as the equipment was designed exclusively for dwarves. According to dwarf lore, any dwarf over 1.2 meters tall was considered an anomaly. There were even legends of entire clans being wiped out by a beam of light from the sky for claiming to be dwarves despite their height. Some whispered that a voice had been heard saying, "General, we've already." But such tales were never officially recorded, only passed down orally. Outside, the snow-covered streets were eerily quiet, with only Naruto's small figure trudging through the snow. The crisp crunch of snow under his boots was oddly soothing. The village of Konoha was blanketed in white, and the Hokage monument loomed in the distance, its stone faces now crowned with snow, giving them a somewhat comical appearance. Most of the buildings in the village were wooden, and the dim street lights cast a warm, nostalgic glow over the shops lining the streets. The contrast between the white snow and the golden light created an invisible boundary in the air. "It's so quiet, not a soul in sight," Naruto mused as he wandered aimlessly. He wasn't worried about getting lost. After all, he could always summon a portal to get home. As for the risk of exposure, he didn't care much. Besides, with a father who could teleport, it wasn't far-fetched to assume he'd inherited some special abilities. Konoha couldn't afford to touch him now. Not only would Danzo's schemes be blocked by the third Hokage, but the village also couldn't replace its Jinchuriki. Finding a suitable candidate alone would be a challenge, let alone transferring the Nine Tails. The village likely couldn't even suppress the Nine Tails without the third Hokage resorting to the dead demon consuming seal, which would mean Danzo becoming Hokage, a scenario no one wanted. The third Hokage wouldn't risk sealing both Naruto and the Nine Tails away, leaving the village without a Jinchuriki and vulnerable to attacks. Naruto touched his own cheek, feeling the softness of his youthful face. "I'm so cute right now. Maybe I should just rely on my charm to get by." His plan for the future was simple. 1. Before entering the academy, rely on his cuteness to get by. 2. After entering the academy, gradually develop his abilities. 3. Once fully developed, use reason and strength to convince others. Once he mastered the Nine Tails chakra and Sage mode, with a Rasengan in one hand and a tailed beast bomb in the other, he could have a civilized discussion with anyone who disagreed. After all, the purpose of learning was to speak calmly to fools, and the purpose of training was to make fools speak calmly to you. Naruto wasn't sure about the former, but he was confident in the latter. Thud. "Who's there?" Naruto shouted, startled out of his thoughts. He had been so deep in contemplation that the sudden noise nearly made him jump. A small figure scrambled to its feet, tears welling up in her eyes. The child looked weak, helpless, and utterly pitiful. I, the words wouldn't come out, and the more the child struggled to speak, the more the tears threatened to spill over. Naruto stared at the little girl in front of him, feeling as though he'd been set up by the third Hokage. The old man had been pushing him to go outside. There had to be a reason. With her white eyes and being around his age, it wasn't hard to guess who she was. Hyuga Hinata, a girl known for her resilience, diligence, kindness, and unwavering devotion. She was the type to silently give her all, even her life, for the one she loved. Among the girls of his generation in Naruto, each had her own strengths. Sakura's boldness, Ino's charm, Tenten's adorable Chinese aesthetic, Kurotsuchi's long legs, and Karin's fiery red hair. But they also had their flaws. Sakura, for instance, was as tough as they came. By the time she graduated, she was built like a battleship ready to fire torpedoes. Guess how many people that sentence refers to? As she grew older, Sakura's strength became legendary. Her punches could knock out anyone, but her personality was as abrasive as ever. Ino and Karin only had eyes for handsome guys. Kurotsuchi was flat-chested, and while Naruto liked Shion, her tsundere personality made her a difficult match. If he had to choose, well, he'd go for the one with the bigger chest. "Are you lost?" Naruto asked, noticing the snow covering Hinata and her pitiful expression. It was almost ironic. The daughter of the Hyuga clan, known for their Byakugan and all-seeing eyes, getting lost was like having a cheat code in a game and still running straight into enemy fire. Hinata shook her head vigorously, the extra effort causing her tears to finally spill over. Her small hands clenched tightly, but she couldn't get the words out. Seeing Hinata shivering in her light blue kimono-like outfit, Naruto quickly summoned the Santa set and draped the coat over her, placing the hat on her head. The result was overwhelmingly adorable. If Naruto's cuteness level was a 5, Hinata's was off the charts, shattering any scale. Dressed in the Santa outfit, she looked like a chubby red and white penguin. The oversized clothes dragged slightly on the ground, and her white hat framed her round, baby-faced cheeks perfectly. Her expression, a mix of surprise, helplessness, and innocence, was enough to make any lolicon want to hug, kiss, and lift her up. Before Hinata could react to Naruto's sudden actions, he grabbed her left hand and started walking. "Let me take you home." Naruto's hand was warm. His body heat was so intense that even after walking with his hands in his pockets, he was sweating. In contrast, Hinata's hands were freezing from running and falling in the snow repeatedly, leaving her limbs nearly numb. As they walked, warmth spread between their hands. From a distance, the two small figures looked like a pair of red penguins waddling through the snow, their oversized coats dragging behind them, leaving twin trails that sometimes crossed and sometimes ran parallel. "This is your house. It's huge," Naruto exclaimed as they arrived at the Hyuga clan's estate. The grandeur of the place reminded him of the traditional Chinese saying, "A big house means a big fortune." Hinata nodded softly. It had taken them nearly 2 hours to find the Hyuga compound. One had forgotten the way home, and the other had no idea where he was going. Along the way, they had even stopped to eat a few steamed buns. The buns were warm, as all food from his inventory was freshly made, unaffected by time. In the end, they had eaten 10 buns between them, 4 for Naruto and 6 for Hinata. "Well, goodbye then," Naruto said, waving as he opened a portal. In the darkness, a purple portal shimmered with a milky white light, and firefly-like orbs floated out before dissipating. Naruto's figure gradually faded and disappeared, followed by the portal shrinking and merging back into the darkness. Hinata stood there, staring at the spot where the light had vanished. After a long while, she finally knocked on the gate behind her. Her hands were warm, her body was warm, her stomach was full, and her heart felt warm too. Even the falling snowflakes seemed to carry a gentle warmth.
The boy who hadn't even left his name had appeared out of nowhere like an angel sent from heaven to save her, only to disappear into the light, returning to the heavens. It was as if he had never been there, yet the memory of him was vivid. As for Naruto, he went home, took off his clothes, and fell asleep. A young girl's heart is always poetic, but staying single is a skill in itself. Note, don't forget to join my Patreon/FluckyC to get access to plus 100 advanced chapters or unlock the full story from the shop, so I can bring more chapters for you.